Our next topic is going to be multiplying polynomials. So by the end of this, we want to be able to multiply any two polynomials regardless of size. So first thing is we need to look at distribution. So for distribution, for multiplication, all we're doing is multiplying each term that's in the parentheses. So I would distribute this 4x cubed, and I would multiply it by 5x squared. I would also multiply it by the negative 2x, and I would also multiply by 5. Once I do this, now I would actually simplify the problem. So for my first coefficient, I'll have 4 times 5, which is 20. As for my power on x, remember if you have the same base and you're multiplying, you're going to add your exponents. So I'll have x to the 5th. Next, my coefficient will be negative 8, 4 times that negative 2. And because I'm adding my exponents, I'll have x to the 4th. We don't write it, but there's an understood 1. And my last term will be 4 times 5, which is 20 again, and then x cubed. So that's just basic distribution. But if you can do that, then you can multiply polynomials. So let's do another distribution here. So I'm going to take this term, and I'm going to multiply by both terms in my set of parentheses. So my first one will be 2a cubed b times 3ab squared. For my next term, I'm going to say it's a minus because there's that minus 4a. So minus 2a cubed b times 4a. For this first term, if I multiply the two coefficients, I'll get 6. As for my power on a, it looks like I have an a to the 3 and an a to the 1, so an a to the 4th. And then for my power on b, I had a b to the 1 and a b squared, so a b cubed. Then I'll have 2 times 4, which is 8. Combining my a's, I'll get a to the 4th and then b. Now we're going to have what I like to call double distribution. And that's because we have two things in this first set of parentheses. So we're going to be distributing twice. So I'm going to choose two different colors for this. Let's go with blue first. So the first term that I need to distribute is this 4x. So what I'm going to do is take this 4x and multiply both terms. When I do that, I'm going to get 4x times 3x, and I'll bring the negative out front, so minus 4x times 2y. So that's my first distribution. I'll do the second one in red. Now we're going to distribute 7y. So it'll be 7y times 3x minus 7y times 2y. You might have learned FOIL before. This is exactly the same thing. We're just calling it double distribution. Once I actually simplify this, it looks like I'll get 12x squared, then minus 8xy plus 21xy. I know that in the previous line, y was written first, but it's more customary to write xy because that's the way it goes alphabetically. And then lastly, minus 14y squared. But what I notice is that I have this xy term twice, so I can put those together. So it looks like 12x squared plus 13xy, that was my negative 8 plus 21, and then minus 14y squared. So let's do this double distribution again. And again, I know that you may have learned FOIL before. I don't like teaching that because what happens when you have more than just two terms, like in this problem? The FOILing method kind of falls apart. So double distribution, that's what we're going to do. First thing, we are going to distribute this 2x. So when I distribute this 2x, I'll get 2x times 4x squared minus 2x times 7x plus 2x times 3. So far, so good. Then I'm going to distribute my negative 5. So that'll give me negative 5 times 4x squared My next term is going to be positive because I have two negative terms being multiplied. So plus 5 times 7x, and then minus 5 times 3. Let's see if we can multiply this out and then combine some terms. For my first piece, I'll have 8x cubed minus 14x squared plus 6x minus 20x squared plus 35x, and lastly, minus 15. Before we go any further, I'm going to combine some terms because I have this x squared term and this x squared term, but then I also have two x terms. So I'll have 8x cubed. For my x squared terms, looks like minus 34x squared. For my x terms, I'm going to have 31 of those, and I still have my minus 15. And now let's do one that actually has triple distribution. So we're going to have to distribute 3 times. First, I'm going to distribute my 3x squared. Okay, so I'll distribute that and get 3x squared times x squared plus 3x squared times 3x minus 3x squared times 4. Then I'm going to distribute my negative 2, so I'll do that one in purple. So I'll get minus 2x times x squared, then minus 2x times 3x, and then a plus because it's a negative times a negative, 2x times 4. And I'm quickly running out of room, that's okay. Lastly, I'm going to distribute my 1, so I'll do that one in red. So I'll get 1 times x squared plus 1 times 3x plus 1 times negative 4. And I should have brought that negative out front. That's okay, I didn't. Okay, so we're going to have to combine all of this. And I'm actually going to do this vertically as I do it. So I know that I'm going to have, it looks like up to powers of 4. So I'm going to have an x to the 4th, x cubed, x squared, x, and then a 1. Okay, so 3x squared times x squared, that gives me a 3x to the 4th. Then plus 9x cubed, so I'm doing the part in blue right now, minus 12x squared. So that takes care of the blue. Let me move on to the purple. So for my purple, I have negative 2x cubed, then minus 6x squared, plus 8x. So that takes care of the blue and the purple. Let me do the red. So the red was x squared plus 3x minus 4. So my final answer, finally, so 3x to the 4th, for my x cubed terms, looks like a positive 7. For my x squared terms, looks like negative 17. For my x terms, positive 11. And then my constant term is still that negative 4. So that's distribution with 3, triple distribution. Yeah, it's more work than 2, but it's not any harder. You just have to keep your work neat.